Yeah, we're live. Welcome, everybody, to our Success Mastermind for Tuesday the 26th, Wednesday the 27th already, where Lynn is. I was just talking with Lynn a little bit about cruising in a boat or ship, as it were, and which is not one of my favorite things to do. You know, be on a ship and eat and eat and eat. But it's what you focus on, right? Which is actually the title of our talk for today. Let me see here. We do have today, we do have something happening. Corporate Curios is actually off the calendar for today. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that from the calendar. And hopefully that'll update soon. So just our general session here today. So we're gonna have a fun conversation right now about what we focus on. I was just having a conversation with a potential client, someone who follows our stuff, me and Shannon, and we were having a conversation about getting their coaching business launched. And in the conversation that we were having, it came up that this person admittedly recognizes that they tend to focus on what could go wrong. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I asked Shannon, because we were both in the meeting. I said, Shannon, do you know anybody else who tends to find, problems? What could go wrong? Do you know anybody like that? And we had a laugh, right? Because that has been a strength and a weakness, right? A blessing and a curse, which I've I guess walked around with for a long time. Now we've all read countless books talking about focusing on where you're going, what you want, right? And the creation of your projects and the fulfillment of desire and these things of good report, right? Think on these things. And en route to accomplishing that which we intend to accomplish, there are problems to solve. And I would like to solve them. In fact, I would like to prevent them if possible. So the flip side of that is, oh, look at that. There's an out point. Oh, there's a potential error, right? So which one's right? Well, they're both right. Okay. I mean, who doesn't want to avoid avoidable problems, right? I mean, that just sounds really cool. And at the same time, who doesn't want to accomplish goals and fulfill their desires, right? Of course, everybody wants it. So they're both right. But here's the thing. What we validate expands, right? And we've talked about this before. James Allen said that in life, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. Which is a concept that I've wrestled with a bit, right? I don't get what I want, I get who I am. So am I the person who just focuses most of my attention on what's wrong with stuff? So I've had to ask myself that. And I'll give you the punchline here in advance. The punchline is compartmentalization. I think, anyway, right? There's the answer is like, all right, well, you've got to understand, what role you're playing when you're on this post versus on that post. I heard a story about a guy who took his work home with him, and he happened to be a lawyer. And then he would go home and cross-examine his wife and children, right? So that's not optimal, right? That's not ideal. But in the courtroom, right, the art of the argument, if you will, right, making the case and the questioning or the presenting of evidence and whatever lawyers do. I'm sure we can come up with some great lawyer jokes now. But that reality and to be good in that profession on that post, right, there is a certain focus that very rightly has been developed over not only study and training and whatever, learning one's craft, okay, but has actually been internalized to the point where almost effortlessly, and I'm going to assume because I've never been a lawyer, but almost effortlessly they could show up and man that post. Okay, when I was automotive and diesel diagnostician, right, there was a certain beingness and a focus to that served me on that post and served the customer, of course, right? Figure out what's wrong. Nice. Okay. But when I would show up in a different role in my life, right, it doesn't, it doesn't bear fruit. So are we able then to compartmentalize our focus, just like we're able to compartmentalize let's say a schedule, right? So at 2:00, you got to meet with the client. Okay, good. So I know that time is scheduled and focus will be delivered, right, and expended at that time for that purpose with that person or people or whatever the event happens to be. So we've got that block of time and therefore that block of attention compartmentalized, right? Where do a lot of people fall down? And this is where we get into the thick of it, okay? And that is like this conversation that I just had. If a person is aware that they tend to focus on, let's say, for example, the negative, what could go wrong, okay? Problems or even potential problems. Right now in our book study group, we're reading How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, right? It's a good book for people to read. If they tend to focus on imagined things that could go wrong, right? Like Samuel Clemens said, I've had thousands of problems in my life, most of which never actually occurred. So we have the ability, and if we are able to recognize, and a lot of people don't, okay, but if we're able to confront our own personality, our own character, strengths and weaknesses, if we're able to confront that and actually, become aware that, oh, I have a tendency to think negatively. I have a tendency to focus on what could go wrong, stuff like that, which may serve me in the courtroom under the hood of the car, diagnosing whatever, okay, but doesn't serve me in terms of my goal achievement. And I'm aware that that is a tendency or a character trait. Well, the first step in solving any problem is confronting the problem, right? Did we really confront it? Now, in the case of the conversation that I was just having with somebody, they were faced with a decision. And I will say that they have not yet confronted the fact, the tendency, the character trait of being hesitant to make decisions. And so they hesitated to make a decision. And what came up for me was, of course, something that I've read again and again and again, the words of Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. He wrote a whole chapter on decision, just that one word, right? Decision. What is that all about? And it was revealed that analysis of over 250 people who had amassed a fortune over $1 million. This is a direct quote, by the way. I've read it so many times, I don't need to pull up the text, okay? Revealed the fact that they had all formed the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing those decisions slowly if and when they were changed. So here's 250 of the most successful people of the industrial age, let's say, right? So this is the 1910s, 20s, 30s, right? When all this research was happening. It took them 20 years to come up with this book. So here's guys like Ford, Edison, Wrigley, etc. Okay. They had all of them formed the habit of reaching decisions promptly. And they change their minds slowly if they ever do. Unsuccessful people, thousands, without exception, take a long time to reach a decision, if they ever reach one, and then they change their minds quickly and often. So there's some pretty clear contrast right there, right? Here's the question, because all of us, as we already discovered, or at least I put on you, you can own it or not, but all of us probably want to reach our goals, right? Okay, so if you disagree, you can leave. I don't want to reach my goals now. Screw you, John. Okay, goodbye. Okay, but assuming you want to reach your goals, then we're going to have to reach decisions, and we're going to have to do so promptly, because work expands to fill the time allowed for it. right? We can practice avoidance. We can practice indecision, and many of us do, for however long, which does what? Which delays the effect, right? Successful or not, optimal or not, but it delays the result because we keep putting space in between us and where we're looking to go. And why would somebody do that? Well, back to the idea of what we focus on. What we focus on. I mean, if you took a calculator, all right, and you put data into it, and we could say the data is what the calculator is focusing on. So here's datum number 1 is 2. Okay, so 2 is the datum, all right? And then we put a plus symbol in there, and then we put more data, 3. Okay, so the calculator just got input. Okay, and understand this is very objective and mathematical and nothing subjective and emotional about it. Okay, but we're talking about an example here. So 2 plus 3 is the existing data so far. Okay, and then the next command, we click the equals symbol. And without hesitation, the calculator makes a decision. And the decision is to display 5. Now, if we did that and it took a long time, like some of you with your internet access, right? Oh my goodness, why isn't the website loading? Anybody had that experience, right? But if we had lag time in terms of a simple equation on a handheld device that isn't even connected to the internet, right? So if we had a delay or an incorrect answer, something's wrong with this decision-making device. Something's wrong with this calculator. I put 2 plus 3 equals. Now, because it's such a simple equation, even a non-mathematician like myself can validate and verify the instantaneous correct answer of 5. Calculators, hopefully you don't need a calculator to do that equation. I'm hoping you don't, okay? But in that example, there was no Q&A, right? There was no questions and answers. There was no deliberation. There was no indecision. There was no evaluations of the rightness or wrongness. It was a prompt decision. Now, I'm not saying that your decisions could be that prompt or instantaneous. There are times where it's, right now, you were totally ignorant. You had no idea that this was coming, but now that this came, bam, you just instantly made a decision on the spot. There are times when that happens. Okay, so here's the new data. Here's the new opportunity. Here's the perhaps even the thing that you've been praying for, right? Here is the solution. And it's time to act. And you know it, and you act. One of the other things Napoleon Hill talked about in Think and Grow Rich, the 13th principle, in fact, is the 6th sense. The hunch is the intuition, right? Which is another mental faculty of intuition, which many of us, exercise more or less, right? Some less than others, many less than others, right? So being intuitive, that doesn't mean you're always right, okay? So the calculator damn well always be right. But we're dealing with a few more complications, aren't we? And what are those complications? Well, in terms of the calculator analogy, what if we put in lots of other data into that? Let's say the answer was still going to be 5 eventually, but we're putting in like the square root of this and the denominator of that and the trigonometric calculations of blah, 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 and the answer is still ultimately going to be 5 in this equation, but we clouded the operation with a lot of extraneous or roundabouts, and here you go there, and ultimately we get back to 5. If we ever finally click the equal symbol. And this is, I think, where a lot of people, if we use that as an analogy, where a lot of people, including myself, have found ourselves delaying things, which, I mean, the answer is 5, right? That's it. So just get on with it, right? But all of the considerations, all of the other potential equations and the possibilities and the things that, like Dale Carnegie's talking about in the book that we're currently reading, all the worries lead to what? Indecision. We never click the equal symbol. Because of what we focus on, because of what we allow ourselves to focus on. But what if? This is not an argument for throwing caution to the wind. Okay, that's not what this is. What this is an opportunity for us to actually look and confront what is it that we spend most of our time, because you only get so much, right? You only have so much attention to spend each day. But what is most of our attention going to that is causing us to make the decisions we're making, or to avoid making them, or to, as Napoleon Hill said, to change our minds quickly and often? The anatomy of success is completing what you start. I think we could agree on that. Anything you've ever been successful at, anything that's ever produced a result, is something you took to a done, D-O-N-E, done, right? So now we have the product, right? Production has occurred. We've completed that entire cycle of operation and whatever, right? And we can use an example of boiling an egg, okay? So here's the opportunity, right? There's egg, and then there's a pot, and there's water, and there's fire, right? And so you put it all together, right? To the point where, how long does it take to boil an egg? You think I would know that? Let's say 10 minutes. I'm probably wrong. Okay. But you boil the egg, right? And at the end of the 10 minutes, you turn off the heat, you pour out the water, you got the egg, maybe you put it in the refrigerator to cool off or whatever. Okay. But now you have the product of boiled egg from start to the full cycle of operations to stop, done. And if we lived our lives like that, right, like the calculator example or the boiling of the egg example, right, then how much more successful will we be? Let me ask you this. Do you think that people who are, let's say, for example, a celebrity, right? Here's a movie star, rock star, YouTube celebrity, something, right? So here's someone who puts themselves out there a lot. Okay, they produce a lot of content. Let's say you went to the movies and you saw Tom Cruise in Maverick, Top Gun. By the way, hopefully everybody saw that movie. Is there anyone who has not seen that movie? Oh my goodness. Oh, go see that movie. It is amazing. Okay. So no, oh, come on. Oh, come on. It's like Americana. It's like, yeah, we're going to kick ass. And it's like, yeah. Anyway. But do you think that there was like, I'm talking about the actors now, right? Was there like hesitation? I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go be that. I'm going to go friggin' be that. I'm going to go be the, the fighter pilot guy, the Maverick guy. I'm going to go do it, right? I'm going to fly planes and be a badass. No, that's the task, right? That's the job. That's the beingness and the doingness of it, right? And then the having, right? The product, be, do, and have, right? Is produced. And it is done decisively because the focus is on the production, right? Now, I'm not Tom Cruise, okay? But if I was, then I would imagine, right? What he does is he reads the script. He understands, like, what is the outcome we're looking for here? Is that, the Maverick character goes and he flies the plane, he shoots down the other jet, and right, whatever the drama is. Okay, but that's the product that we're after. We have to have that product. We have to have the number 5 on the calculator. That has to happen. Okay, so then the focus just becomes on how do we complete decisively? How do we take that to a done? Now, in the case of movie acting and whatever, there may be multiple attempts, multiple iterations, multiple takes, right? Take 5. Okay. Same sequence, right? Go through the motions, do it again, right? We've all seen, depictions of like, Hollywood productions, and various things where they're doing multiple, takes to get the product that we're looking for. But the focus is always on that. It's never on, well, I'm not sure if, I should kind of, can I really be the fighter pilot guy today? And it's like, I haven't quite put on that beingness yet. I haven't quite owned the character yet. You'd be fired. Or an extra at best, right? You could be one of the extras that walk down the street. You don't have any lines or anything. You just get to be part of the crowd at the shopping mall and the shopping mall sequence or something, right? So how many of us then have been playing the extra in our own lives? Because we just haven't focused on what is the product. So then the solution that I'm thinking of is to, like I said before, to compartmentalize. Okay, so knowing that the end product is you having reached your goals. Okay, let's go ahead and look. Let's look at the problems that could befall you. Let's avoid what could be avoided, prevent what could be prevented, and then let's get our focus back onto where we're going. Okay, so there's a time for productive, thought and vision and creativity, right? And there's a time for a more, like we could say, constructive, or in some cases destructive, right? We're gonna zap that problem. We're gonna destroy that, right? Which, by the way, can be if we don't compartmentalize this, could be a never-ending list of really just distractions, right? One of the aspects of genius is the ability to discriminate between a distraction, which is to be ignored, and an actual problem or barrier, which is to be overcome or solved or addressed, right? In fact, I was just having this conversation earlier. It was that the number one costly problem facing many major corporations is distractions, distracted employees. And I would imagine that's even more so in the age of, people working from home and COVID and whatever, right? So I guess just hire a bunch of geniuses, you'll be fine, right? Or hire yourself and go apply that aspect of genius, which is where you can differentiate, discriminate, compartmentalize. This is a problem to be solved. This is an assumption which, just like what we read last night, or what we reviewed last night in our book study group, law of averages. Okay, the likelihood of me getting hit by lightning, pretty slim, right? So stop worrying about it, right? Stop worrying about it. You see, it's all of the little ankle-biting distractions and diversions and considerations that take us down. Dale, in the book, Dale used the example of the Beatles. So here's this mighty tree, right, that has been there since the dawn of time, and it's the mighty oak and whatever, right? And it's been hit by lightning 5 times, and survived the hurricanes 10 times, and it's still there. It keeps on trucking, right? But the tree came down. How did it come down? It got infested with beetles. Death by 1,000 cuts, right? So in that way, we can look at ourselves and say, you know what? The thing that could take me down are all the ceaseless, incessant considerations that I allow myself to focus on, rather than just getting on with it and becoming that, becoming bigger, like the massive tree who could take a lightning strike. Yeah, whatever. We've done that 5 times, right? It's unlikely, whatever. We live through it, right? Just don't let those beetles in, or aphids, or whatever the bug of choice is. I'm learning about gardening. You'll all be very proud of me. I know what aphids are now. Yes. And I know how to handle them too. What we focus on, my friends. You got some thoughts on this? I've been talking 25 minutes. That just happened. So can we get those calculations straight? Can we stop putting in so many extraneous, computations that all lead to the same answer anyway? Can we just get focused and get on with it? Can we make decisions promptly? Can we stop changing our minds? Can we do that? I think we can. Any thoughts on this? I'd love to hear them. Floor is open. I do see Catherine and Daisy and Edward and Gail and Linda and Lynn and Mandy. Any thoughts? Okay. Well, if you guys have no thoughts, I mean, I can run this as a podcast, and we could just tune in next time for more thrills and excitement. But yeah, I know that you're all intending to apply what we discuss here. And because it's through the application, it's through experiential knowledge that we actually, get bigger, stronger, and faster. Lynn, thank you. Come on out, my friend.
There we go. Yeah, just the way I haven't read Napoleon Hill yet, but the more you keep quoting it, the more I'm going, I haven't done any reading. I'm a bad girl, except your book. So I have read that.
Well, thank you.
But I will. But no, the more you quote him, the more I feel like I've already read him, which is great. So I'm definitely going to go and do something about that very soon. You'll reach decisions promptly and change them slowly. You've said it before and before and before, but it's like kind of went in tonight. So yeah, thank you, and thank Napoleon Hill for that.
Well, it's such a simple concept.
Yeah.
I'm getting you a link to the original text. Let's see, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the original text, Think and Grow Rich, official Napoleon Hill Foundation, Kindle. You guys get Kindle over there? Do they ship Kindles to you?
Oh, I don't have a Kindle.
I'm joking. It's you can get it with
I can get an actual
on your computer. Yeah. So here's the link. And it's $7.99. Now you can find this book for free, but watered down, adjusted versions, edited, Go with the original text. Okay, there's a reason for that. And so I recommend we do that on everything that we ever read when possible. There you go. Click that link, and that will take you to a site called Amazon, which you may have heard of. And you can get
once or twice.
$7 American, whatever.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
It's worth $7 million. Just get it. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, and there's the entire recording in our archive in the members site, right under the book study group recordings. There's the entire 15 weeks we spent on that book, 15 sessions, because there's 15 chapters, and there's a prologue and an epilogue, and then 13 principles in between. So, so feel free to go through that as well to get full conceptual understanding. I've read that book cover to cover, every word, 13 times so far. And I made a lot of money, right? So yeah, do that. All right, good times. Anybody else? Well, I love you guys. Let's get focused. And Mandy. Hey, Mandy, come on out, my friend.
Oh, good, you did see me. Hello. I'm not on camera because I'm delivering leaflets and walking around at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound great. And you're in action. That's good. Action.
Yeah, it's only there for me though. But I loved everything you said, and I had to laugh because I know that I used to be like that, and probably am still a little bit. I hope I make faster decisions now and change them slowly, or I might make slower ones, but I change them slowly. But your focus thing was really good, in the sense that the things we can get bogged down by is social media and all those little beetles that are out there. So even this morning, I'd compartmentalized, yes, definitely, you can do that by blocking yourself out, can't you? So I blocked out that I delivered leaflets now, but listen to something on the way. But then if this morning you can do it, it's so easy, just get your phone out of the way so that you're not, any time a ping comes up or something. I think they're our beetles. They can take the distraction away, or you go onto Facebook to do one thing, and before you know it, you've got an hour's gone past or something. And I read that book. That was one of the first books I ever read. I was thinking of joining the club or joining your thingy. Let me just get it back. I was thinking of joining you. So can you still hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, good, because I've lost you on my screen. But I was thinking of joining, but it's like 2:00 in the morning, and it was like, no, I can't. But Stop Worrying and Start Living was one of the first books I ever read. And it is brilliant to stop worrying, because it really worked on me. I used to be a worrier. I'd worry about everything. everything and anything, as my mum did. And it was one of the things I picked up from her. So yes, if you're a warrior, it is a fantastic book. But Lynn, if you're going to read anything, read Napoleon Hill. It is fantastic. I mean, it's just the best book ever, isn't it, John? And
One of them.
and if it, yeah, one of them, yeah. There's many of them out there that we've read over the last 2 years. And if you haven't got time to read it, then Audible's got it as well, and he has also got the unabridged version, or whatever you call it. Because like you said, yeah, you want to read the original. There's lots of other ones, aren't there? Summaries and everything else, but you've got the unabridged one. But yeah, we do have to watch out for those beetles, don't we? Definitely. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need reminders all the time, right? I forget stuff. You know who never forgets stuff? Linda. Hi, Linda. Come on out. You were
Hi,
about to say
John. Yes, I do forget things all the time. And it's usually because I'm too busy to remember everything. But yeah, great reminders. Again, you know, decision is definitely, I mean, without that, you really can't move forward. For me lately, it's been a really big shift in my thinking, where you know, be, do, have. So you really have to be that person in order to create the doing, or the just the excitement about doing, and being that magnet that attracts the thing to you that you really need to get that thing done that you want to, or just a goal, your goal. I don't know if I'm saying this right or not, but it's just, you know, without decision, you can't apply the doing. And for me, the learning is I'm more of a hands-on learner. I have to really learn by experience. And I think a lot of us learn that way. I mean, of course, we get more confident with the more experience that we do. And I have to just really look at, you know, like the sales calls that I'm doing as practice until I get where I really want to be in that. Actually just recently discovered a new book. Actually it was Virginia who discovered it. And let me think, what is the name of that book? It is, where is it?
Apparently it had a big impact.
Well, no, it really does. Exactly what to say. The magic words for influence and impact. Have you ever read it?
Exactly what to say. No.
It's by Philip M. Jones. He's British, and he kind of lays it out in phrases, like, so you can say certain things in a way that it's not a yes or a no. Instead of saying, you know, well, now's not, somebody says, well, I don't really have time right now. Say, okay. So what you should say, well, when will a good time for you be? You know, instead of, oh, okay, I understand. You know, we're all busy, which is, you know, something that I would say before. And, you know, it's just a way of leading them down the path to agreement, I guess. Great book.
Well, it's asking a question, which is maintaining control.
Correct. But he does it, and so he lays it out in 15 different phrases and different ways to apply it. It's a really, really good book. So maybe that could be something we could do on the Thursday thing that you were thinking about doing.
Yes.
Or
Thank you for reminding me. We are putting together a copywriting class that is going to be open to the public if they want to buy into that. And we're going to be covering same kind of topic that you just brought up, Linda, which is, you know, not necessarily, you know, what to say, like a script. Okay. But as it relates to either, you know, a sales call or writing emails or copywriting in general. Because really, you know, there's power in words.
Yeah. And these are just the way it's just, I'll post it in the JLSM Facebook group. So people, it's a free audiobook from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's only like an hour and 15 minutes. So you can like listen to it every day, which I'm trying to do.
Oh,
But it's really like turned around my confidence, I think,
good.
because sometimes I just struggle for what to say. And, you know, it takes practice. And that's one of the things he drives home too. You got to practice. So, yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Well, you're
So,
practicing right now. You're saying words. I'm hearing them.
yes.
Good
Because they're not coming out the way I'd like them to. But yeah, again, that's, you know, just putting
stuff.
yourself out there and just doing every day. It's not going to be perfect and it's not going to be good the first time you're out there. And yeah, so,
Okay.
but we'll look back down the line and then laugh at each other, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you can go
So,
laugh at me right now. Last week, Shannon and I each launched new TikTok channels. So if you go to tiktok.com/@sellmorewithjohn, you can go laugh at me. So there you go.
mhm.
And yes, please do. So
Right. But I mean, was that, I mean, you're out there all the time though, John, but was that comfortable for you to do that? Or was that a little bit out of your comfort zone in the beginning? Or
in
was
the
it like,
beginning, going back decades?
no,
Yeah.
not decades, just to do the TikTok thing. I mean, you've
Oh,
never
no.
really,
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I didn't think so.
In fact, easy.
Right. Right.
So the target product is a 1-minute video. I just talked 25 minutes today on a
Mhm.
whim,
Well,
right?
I know.
So a 1-minute video, really? Okay, I can knock out 5 of them in, let's say, 7 minutes, right?
Mhm.
So no, easy, piece of cake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, see, I would be horrified and petrified to do a 1-minute video.
Okay, so here's the thing, what we're focusing on, right? So
Yep.
why? What are the additional computations or considerations or factors that get in between point A and point B? So here's Linda with no video. Here's Linda with video, with
Right.
product, right?
Mhm.
So what's in between there?
A gap. I mean, there's a gap of
Well,
nothing.
no, there's extraneous focus going on. But
yeah.
what if, and what should I talk about, and what will they
Oh,
think?
okay.
And blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. The
right?
fear. Yeah.
So when Tom Cruise is Maverick, his whole life is Maverick. I'm Maverick now. I'm not even Tom Cruise anymore. I'm freaking
Right.
Maverick, man. I'm a fighter pilot, right? So there's no other considerations. So
Right.
so decide who you are and go be that.
Right. Yeah.
I love you, Linda. You're awesome.
All right. Get it done, John.
Get it done.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Have a
And
good
then I'll
one.
follow you on TikTok, right? Is that what you do?
Okay.
Follow people?
That should be fun.
Good stuff. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Let's go shoot some videos and post them to Chinese spyware applications. All right.